Okay, so if you're factoring where the x squared coefficient is just 1, or in other words, there's no number in front of the x squared, then all we need to do, this trinomial factors into two brackets. First thing in each bracket is x. To find out what the number terms are in each bracket, you need to find two numbers that multiply to get your number term and add to get your x coefficient. So in that case, this means we need to find two numbers that multiply to get 12 and add to get 8. If you think of it right away, great. Otherwise, you can start making a list of factors of 12. So factors of 12 could be 1 and 12. Remember, factors of 12 are numbers that multiply together to get 12. So 1 times 12 is 12, but 1 plus 12 is 13. That's no good. Another factor, 2 times 6 is 12, and 2 plus 6 is 8. So here's our numbers. We found two numbers that multiply to get 12 and add to get 8. Positive 2 and positive 6. So there's your factored format. Part B, so check that your x squared has no coefficient in front of it. If it doesn't, then we can try factoring it into this format. Two brackets, first thing in each bracket is x. To find the number terms, now we need to find two numbers that multiply to get 12 and add up to get 13. So factors of 12, this time 1 times 12. 1 times 12 is 12, and 1 plus 12 equals 13. So you found your numbers right away. So positive 1 and positive 12. So there's your factored form. This one, no coefficient in front of the x squared again, so split it into 2. X is the first thing in each bracket. Now we need to find two numbers that multiply to get positive 12 and add to get negative 13. So if two things are multiplying together to get a positive number and adding together to get a negative number, a negative times a negative is a positive, so they have to be both negative numbers. Because if they're both positive numbers, they'd add up to be positive. If we had one negative and one positive, they'd multiply to be a negative number. So it has to be two negative numbers here. So multiplying to get positive 12, you could have negative 1 and negative 12. Negative 1 times negative 12 is positive 12. Negative 1 plus negative 12 is negative 13. So that adds up to our x coefficient, which is good. So your two numbers are negative 1 and negative 12. Next question. No coefficient in front of the a squared term. So two brackets. A is the first thing in each bracket. To find out what the numbers are, now we need to find two numbers that multiply to get positive 10 and add to get negative 11. Same thing, if they're multiplying to get a positive number and adding to get a negative none, then they must both be negative numbers. So positive 10. We could multiply negative 1 and negative 10. Negative 1 times negative 10 is positive 10. Negative 1 plus negative 10 is negative 11. So that's perfect. Adds up to your middle term. So your two numbers are negative 1 and negative 10. E. No number in front of the y, no coefficient in front of the y, or y squared, sorry. So we have y is the first thing in each bracket. We want to find two numbers that multiply to get positive 4 and add to get positive 3. So they'll both be positive numbers. Factors of 4. We could have 1 times 4. 1 times 4 is 4, but 1 plus 4 is 5. That's no good. Or we could have 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, but 2 plus 2 is 4, not 3. And there aren't any other factors of 4. So in that case, this is not factorable. So if you look to the last term, if you've gone through all of the pairs of factors of the last term and none of them add up to be the middle term, then your expression is not factorable. Last question. X squared plus 27x plus 50. No coefficient in front of the x. Last question. So x squared plus 27x plus 50. There's no coefficient in front of the x squared. So you get x is the first thing in each bracket. We want to find two numbers that multiply to get positive 50 and add to get positive 27. So they'll both be positive numbers. 1 and 50 adds up to be 51, that's no good. 2 and 25. 2 plus 25 equals 27, perfect. So your numbers are positive 2 and positive 25. If you're ever not sure that you factored correctly, or if you want to just check your answer, if you have extra time, if you expand this out again, you should get the original answer, x squared plus 27x plus 50. So I'll just try that to show you. Starting with x plus 2 times x plus 25. X times x is x squared. X times 25 is 25x. 2 times x is 2x. And 2 times 25 is 50. When you combine like terms, you get x squared plus 27x plus 50. So you get the exact same answer, you get the exact same answer that you started with. So this is just a way of checking that your factoring has been done correctly. If you expand it out again, you should get your original expression.